Okay, and we are live. We are live. It is Wisdom Wednesday. I am here with the beautiful Carol Gabrielli as my guest. And I just want to welcome everybody, anyone who's here live. Really, if anybody watches this in the replay, please, comment, question. We'll give us feedback. We'll answer your questions at some point, if not live. And I really wanted to create this series to provide a platform for the women in our group to share their stories, their wisdom, how they navigate, their lives, share the work they do in the world, and more. It's a way for me to really spotlight each of our members so that we can learn about one another. And then I'm going to share the video with Carol, and she can do with it what she wishes, whether she wants to share it with her family, her friends, or community. But I really do feel deeply called, as you guys know, to shift the women's perceptions of themselves as we age, in addition to shifting our cultural beliefs around aging. And I feel our world and our country now more than ever needs the full expression, voices, visibility, and creativity of women's intelligence. So again, welcome, Carol. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Liz. So nice to be here. Hello, everybody.
Thank you. So Carol Gabrielli, she is the founder and the president of Three Fathers Funding, which she'll tell us about. She is a grateful wellness entrepreneur. She is the author of this book, The Currency of Connection. Currency of Connection. How to create energy, value, and meaning in your life and the lives of others. And I absolutely love this book and recommend it to everyone. I have so many aha moments during it. I felt like I was sitting with them at the table, and it's really important book for everyone to have.
Thank you.
You're welcome. She is also a lover of family. Her two boys, Max and Alex, and she is the wife of our other dear friend, Rick Gabrielli. These two are both of her dear friends and confidants and supporters and cheerleaders. So we're very blessed. My husband and I am talking about, but she also loves travel and home.
Yes.
I love that. So Carol, if you could just for a few minutes, just tell us a little bit about yourself, your story, and really, for those of us who don't know you, and again, it's whatever you want to share, wherever you want to start, wherever you want to share is fine. I'll just give you a few minutes to give us an introduction, please.
Okay, thank you. Thanks again for having me. I appreciate it. So I grew up in upstate New York in the foothills of the Adirondacks and on the Great Sacandaga Reservoir, which is a beautiful place to grow up and swim and boat. And my family had a sailboat, which we spent a lot of time on, and golfing and playing tennis in high school. Those are my activities and loving every minute of it. And of course, the snow, lots and lots of snow in the Adirondacks. And so I grew up there, and I went to school, educated in Western New York, ended up with a degree in management science and accounting. And that's where I learned that being an accountant and going all the way as a CPA was not my passion. But I did enjoy the management science part. And when I graduated, I got a job in a bank in Westchester. It was a savings bank. It was a small savings bank. And there I used my accounting degree, management science degree, but I found my voice and my ability to manage. I was manager and VP in a couple of different areas in lending and servicing, and somehow, I don't know how, ended up in IT and technology in the bank. So that's where I finished my career, and really loved every minute of it. And I left the bank not only after a couple of mergers that I assisted the lending department go through, but when I was pregnant with my first son. left and came home to raise my child and eventually my kids. And during that time at the bank, I met Rick, my husband, for years, and we just have a lot of fun together. And we had 2 boys. I have 2 boys, Alex, who's 26, and Max, who's 20. And let's see, I guess since having my children, that's when I really found the health and wellness.
Mm-hmm.
I started to, when I was pregnant, eat better, real foods, and, make sure I got all my vitamins. I, read a lot of things about what was best for my body and my growing child's body. And then when I had the kids in a birth center, which was not common, with a midwife, which is not common, that many years ago. And of course, breastfed.
Carol, were they both births without, like, natural births? I think you
totally natural.
I thought I remember you told me that.
Yeah. Thank you. The first one was very long and very, not complicated, not complications necessarily, but it was a long process. And if my water broke on a Thursday and Alex was born on a Saturday, and if I had been in a hospital, I probably would have had a cesarean. So I'm grateful that didn't happen. My midwife let me go naturally and with no complications, and so I was very proud of that. And
it's amazing. Yeah. It also speaks to your patience, because you are yes.
Yep. Yeah. Actually, I really, really, my birth plan, because everybody makes the birth plan, was to have the baby in the birth center and naturally, and we were able to do that. So
that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I love that that you talked a little bit about your husband, Rick, and it's great because when I met Rick before I met Carol and before I met you, and I remember like I was so refreshed. He was just, he's like, oh, well, you have to meet my wife, Carol. She's the most wonderful woman in the entire world. I met the most perfect woman. I married her. Like he just spoke in this way. It was so like refreshing and warmed my heart. And now knowing the two of you, and you're like such a yin and yang. It's just, and you co-authored the book with your husband. Yes. So could you tell us just a little bit about the book and whatever you want to share about it. But I just want people to really understand a little more, because I want everyone to go out and get it.
Okay. So The Currency of Connection is the title of the book. And I never in a million years thought I was going to be an author or write a book. It wasn't one of my, lifelong dreams or anything. But Rick, my husband, has written 2 books prior. And well, one was kind of a practice book, and then his second was, as the marriage boss in marriage counseling and coaching. He wrote a regular book, and this one is his third. So when he asked me to be a part of it, I was like, okay, all right, I will help you. I'll help you write a book. And then when we got started and we came up with the idea of the book, so the book is about connection and the value and meaning that brings to your life. And maybe a little more for me, the book is about how one intentional connection can not only affect your life, but can possibly even save your life or someone else's life. So that to me is what the book is about. And so we had this idea that I was going to interview Rick. So it is kind of a conversation. It's a sort of me asking questions and prompting him to go through the process of the book. And I do play a smaller role, but it is a lot of the concepts that we live by and our foundations for our marriage and the way we live. So I'm very proud of it in the end.
I hope so. I think now more than ever, I think it's needed because, I think people need to learn the new ways to connect, because again, I agree with you. Connection is it's like, it's kind of, we're meant to connect. We're tribal people, we're meant to have a tribe. We're meant to have, a belong with people, and, and really welcome everyone. I think is your philosophy too, is just to welcome everyone into your community. And I love that about you guys.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's just a book that everyone should have right now.
Well, thanks, Liz.
You're so welcome. You're welcome. I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it. I mean it fully with my full heart. So about I know that, you're into wellness. You're a wellness fanatic, as I am as well. And as you were saying, you were looking into things to nourish your body and your kids and keep them healthy, as the mama that you are. But tell us a little bit about Beamer. I know that's the business that you and Rick are involved in and believe in. And I don't know if everybody is familiar. I was not familiar with it before I met you guys. Mm-hmm. So if you could share a little bit about the Beamer, what it is, what the benefits are, what the benefits maybe you've seen for yourself.
Yeah.
Would be great.
Yep. So Beamer is a at-home passive wellness device and therapy. Basically, the Beamer improves general blood flow and all of the benefits that come with general blood flow, increasing general blood flow. If you think about why your medical professional wants you to exercise, is just that. Wants you to improve your blood flow. So with improved blood flow, you get better nutrition and oxygen in your cells, and you remove toxins. Mm. And in Chinese medicine, the most important thing, even above what food you put in your body, is the elimination of toxins through elimination and your breath and your sweat and everything like that. So the idea is to get toxins out of your body more effectively, and that allows the body, frees the body up to do the work that it does naturally. Like little babies heal, very easily if they're healthy, right? And that's the whole idea of improving blood flow so that you can heal naturally and your body can maintain its balance.
So have you seen that, like with healing quicker, from things like even like a cut, or as you know, I had one recently.
Yes, as a matter of fact, the other day I opened a can and I sliced my finger. It wasn't a horrific, like I needed a stitches kind of cut, but it was a cut on my finger, and I was like, oh yeah, I put a Band-Aid on it, and then I looked at it later and it was red. It was a little pink and got more and more sore as the evening went on. So I beamed my finger, and by beaming, it's a an applicator that aims the signal to my finger. And but I beamed it, and a few hours later, I had no soreness and no redness. Wow. And that happens because Rick and I and the family have been using Beamer to improve our systemic blood flow for almost 5 years. So because we are primed and, our bodies are ready to heal, when something like that happens, when we use the applicator and we use the Beamer signal, our bodies respond immediately. So if I make meatballs,
the cutest meatball maker ever, I call you.
So if I'm standing and making meatballs and I'm rolling and rolling and rolling, and because when I make meatballs, I don't make meatballs for just the 4 of us or the 2 of us. I make them forever. I make them for everybody so they can have them and freeze them. And
I can attest to that. I've seen it.
So when I'm leaning over and my back, just like everybody else, my back aches and my muscles get sore. And by the time I'm done cleaning and doing dishes, I go and sit on the couch and I put the Beamer pad on my back. And within about 20 minutes, that tenderness, the fatigue in my muscles is gone.
It's amazing.
Yeah, for me. And then I had the whole, we found Beamer when I was highly perimenopausal. And it really helped me with my mood issues and anxiety.
Really?
It
Huh.
really did, yeah.
Wow. What do
Yeah.
they say about that? Is there a reason? Like, is that because the blood flow, or is that just because, like, what? That's
Well,
interesting.
there's a neurological response to the signal. So I think the best way I can describe it is the Beamer can be used on animals as well. It's not just for humans. There's an animal unit and a human unit. And so we have seen, and I'm not a horse person. I'm an animal lover, but I'm not a horse rider. I didn't know a lot about horses, but we've seen the Beamer on horses. So you put the blanket on the horse, and the signs almost immediately of relaxation and almost being tired, and all the signs that the horse people tell me, which is their ears go back and they start to lick their lips and they have this relaxation response, which happens as soon as they get in contact with the signal.
Wow.
And it's so beautiful to me to see, because people have, judgments, and they have fears, and they have, they don't want to spend money. They're afraid.
The programming, the limited programming. Yeah.
There are a lot of things that prevent them from just being and feeling like animals do, because the animal has no judgment. So the signal on any body that has blood, and anybody that has blood, so animals and humans alike, it creates a relaxation response. And that was really helpful for me during that time. So
yeah, that's amazing. I mean, yeah, anything that can help keep us, like you're saying, in that homeostasis is going to have health benefits and psychological and emotional benefits. Okay,
exactly.
I understand that now. Thank you.
Yeah,
that's great. So if I could ask you if there's any like defining moments or pivotal moments in your life that had an impact on you radically, like whether it's positive or negative, if you would like to share, we can learn from both. Any of those, that would be great.
Well, I would say, gosh, my mind is spinning. So I think the biggest thing I learned about and for myself came about from volunteering for my kids' activities. I guess I'll skip all the drama and just say that the thing I learned from volunteering and doing things, because it's the right thing to do and not because you're getting paid or it's a job, is that you can't satisfy all the people all the time. So what I learned during this time of volunteerism in school, and while my kids were in school, was I can only control how I responded to things. So I couldn't control what people said to me or about me or how they felt. I could only control how I responded to it. And Dr. Wayne Dyer says, how you treat me is your karma. Yes. How I respond is mine. And that was one of the biggest life-changing things that ever happened to me, was that it was freeing. And it was, well, first it was devastating and then it was freeing.
Right. Well, you knew you didn't want to stay there. So this way was a much better approach to, for your peace. Yeah. I love that example, and I love Wayne Dyer, and it like flows right into my favorite quote of his is, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So it's great. It's exactly kind of flows with with that quote, which I also love.
Yes.
And it's true. And I think the freedom comes in not needing anyone else's approval, really. It's just like being like self-reliant for for your approval of because you know what you stand for.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely life-changing.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So just, I'm asking everybody this because as I'm studying, just the whole ageism in our culture, especially against women. I think that the media, the beauty, the fashion industries, they're targeting mostly younger women. And I think it makes people who are growing old women feel less valued. And I think it's very toxic and very dangerous. And you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I sort of have two feelings about it that come to mind, which is, I think I'm going to sound like someone's mother, which I am, but I think it's a shame that young girls think that they have to have all of this makeup and dye their hair and have fake nails or their nails enhanced and their bodies enhanced and surgeries to keep up with what magazines and media and television considers the ideal.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's hard. I don't have girls, but I think that it's got to be really hard growing up, both with those ability to do those things and maintaining it, and for those who can't afford to do those things, because bottom line is it costs money, to have and look like that, and it's a shame. I think that's a shame. I wish there was something, but on the other hand, I think that there is some awareness. I mean, we've seen these commercials that talk about natural beauty and, people are appearing on TV and without makeup. And I think that there's something. And then my favorite thing is the older, or chronologically older, as Liz Gabor would say, showing women with gray hair in their 50s and doing makeup lines or whatever they're advertising. And I think that there is a small movement that hopefully will grow that will say, we are valuing the age progression of beauty.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I think it's very much in its infancy, but I do believe that there is some change. I think it's the way they kind of pigeonhole. At this age, you should wear this and wear this. At this age, you should be this. At this, and I think it's like you were saying, it starts really young. And I mean, I know just for myself as a girl, and you were a girl, that there was a lot of pressure about you're never pretty enough, you're never thin enough, you're never this enough, and it causes a lot of potential problems for women as at any age, really.
Yes.
So thank you for that. And I love silver hair. I think it's so gorgeous. I think it's so gorgeous. My favorite. So
it was one of the best decisions I made, was to let my hair go natural, because I had some peer pressure. My sisters both questioned. They said, why do you want to do that? Do you want to look old? And I said, well, I don't want to dye my hair forever and be, 80 and still have, dyed hair. So, it was just a personal choice. I actually had a reason. Dyeing my hair was so tough on my skin. I'm very, very sensitive.
Yes, you are. Me too.
So I didn't want to do that. I was doing it far too often and being uncomfortable far too often. I didn't think it was good for me. So it was the best thing you did.
It's gorgeous, and again, it's another liberation, I think, of just like time and money and just
absolutely,
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about children for a minute, and then we're going to do a little speed round.
Okay.
So I know how committed you are to help. Well, first, I'd love to just hear for a minute what the foundation is, the Three Fathers
Well,
funding, what that is, if you could explain that to people, and
yes,
that.
Three Fathers Funding is a funding company that I originally developed so that people who to buy Beamer, so that people with less than stellar credit could get a loan. So that was the original idea, and it kind of morphed into a larger funding company for just very specific cause. I think what you're talking about, though, is the Gabriele Foundation.
I think you're right. You're correct. Thank you. Yes, I would love to hear what that is.
So the Gabriele Family Foundation is basically in its infancy. It's not really fully formed yet. It's a concept that we developed because we feel like there's students need help in the whole education conversation. So when kids get into high school, and maybe even sooner, the pressure starts to build, sometimes as early as middle school, is what do you have to do? What activities do you have to get involved in? What do you have to have on a resume in order to get into school, a college or university? And we are not by any means anti-college and anti-further education. We are absolutely pro-education. But what we want to do is to help kids in this delicate time have choices and not be pressured into going on to go to school because of preconceived notions and what everybody has expectations. And I think basically it's about finding passion, whether that's through college and university or through the trades, or something else you're passionate about, and we want to kind of cut the path to finding their passions down to a manageable amount of time. So
that's amazing, and that's again, education needs that more than ever. Needs that piece in there in order to to have people like focus on what their strengths are and do the things that light them up, right? And I can definitely vouch for the fact that you and Rick are both pro-education, lifelong learners. So yes, it's not about that. It's more about the way that our culture has, said that this is the only way to be successful, and that's certainly not true anymore.
Yeah, sure. We want everybody to be comfortable and have choices, and be happy. Be happy if you decide to go to college, and be well adjusted and supported. And if you don't, be happy and well adjusted and supported.
Yes, absolutely. Could not agree with you more. All right, so we're going to go through a little speed round.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm ready.
So this one's not totally speed, but just to share, what energizes you, what lights your heart up.
Nature. Nature is the thing I get most excited about. And when I say nature, I think landscapes, the water, trees, flowers, the blue sky, clouds, things like that. I'm the one in the car saying, look at that, look at that, look at that, look at
that. Look at that. That's beautiful. You smell the roses. You don't, you're in tune with nature, and we are nature. So that's beautiful. And I think, it's all Mother Earth. I love that. I love that answer. Okay. What are you most grateful for?
My family, my husband, my kids, my relationship I have, had/have with my parents who are passed. Our good friends, Lizzy and Gabor.
I didn't tell her to say that. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to just complete these few sentences. It all comes down to
Gratitude. Yep. And if we hadn't written the book, I wouldn't know that was like absolutely bottom line. Gratitude is everything. So
I agree.
Yeah.
Success is?
Success is finding peace.
Yeah. I agree with that. That's actually mine too, is peace.
Oh.
Yep, that's my answer too.
I'm so excited about that.
Yeah, it's just when I feel peace at the end of the day, like it's a successful day. You know, it means I was of service. It means I was grateful. It means a lot of things, but that's what. Yeah, I love that.
I'm so excited.
Wow. Friend, yeah. Okay, relationships are.
Relationships are everything, as is connection, and relationships can be difficult, and relationships are necessary and a gift.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Sisterhood is?
Sisterhood is comfort. Yes.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Home is?
Oh, my favorite.
I know it. My extroverted, introverted sister friends. I get it.
Home is where I get my everything, my energy, and my just home is awesome.
Home is awesome. Agreed. So if you could just quickly say, like, what does an exceptional day look like? How an exceptional day? What would you be doing?
I don't know. I think I'd have to be by the water. I'd have to be outside by the water with my family and some good food and laughs, good conversation.
Beautiful. So you answered this. I was asked about future generations, but I think you already answered it by saying about you. What I think you really were saying is that you just want kids to have that, to know that there's choice, and to know that they're, that they can do and be and do anything rather than what's been prescribed. So you answered that. So this is the last question. I have to ask this one about being an ageless goddess, or what does ageless or an ageless goddess mean to you? Because again, I'm trying to listen to what everybody's interpretations are. People are starting to, somehow, I think some people had thought that I meant some kind of physical thing, and that's not at all what I meant. So I want to hear what it means to each of you, and to you today, Carol.
Well, I think of ageless goddess, the group that you created is a safe space lacking judgment and preconceived notions, just freedom to do and be and think, no matter what your age.
Yes, absolutely. And celebrate each other's beautifulness, individual beautifulness, and inner beauty and wisdom. For sure. Absolutely. Beautiful. So if somebody wants to get in touch with you, wants to learn more about the Beamer, where to find your book, your courses, I know you have courses also, where could they find you?
Gabrielli.com.
Gabrielli.com. Okay. And how do we know that? It's right there. GABRIELL.com. I think you can remember that. So I have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation, as I always do when I spend time with you. And I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being here. Appreciate you.
Thank you for making me do it. No.
I'm so happy that you did. No, you did it yourself. You showed up, and I'm grateful.
Thank you, Liz. I love you.
Mwah. I love you so much. Everybody be well. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.